Topic is hurricanes and everything else that happens in the world. And many people sometimes are wondering what is the proper response. Sometimes people get bothered with the responses, especially when fingers are pointed exactly what the cause is. So I want to tell you what I think we can do, especially right now. I think the hurricane already began and it hit already in Florida, and it's a whole shaila in which angle it's going to head up. So the first thing we do have to know is that all the WhatsApps and everything that's being sent, you see there's hints to this, that there's an Arizal that says, and there's a Rosh Tevis also that fitting with the names of the hurricanes. These are beautiful things as long as we don't get lost what the main principle that we're supposed to take. And I think sometimes we get so busy with the WhatsApps and everything that we forget what's the main thing we're supposed to do. The main thing we're supposed to do is a siman in Shulchan Aruch. A siman in Shulchan Aruch is actually really based on a pasuk, and it's a Rambam. The Shulchan Aruch says, Al eize dvorim misanim umasrim. What are the things that we're supposed to fast and we're supposed to call out? In fact, we're supposed to blow the shofar. And the Mishabur says, this is in Taf Kuf Ayin Vav, it's kedai to read this. The Rambam says the following, it's a positive commandment from the Torah, Liz'oi kule'ariya b'chatzotzres, to pull out the trumpets, for every tzara shaloi sova latzibur, for any calamity that comes upon the public, you're supposed to pull out the trumpets. And in fact, we once mentioned this, the Magen Avraham says, I don't know why the trumpets were put away. In Eretz Yisrael, actually, once in a while, they pull out the trumpets. But the main idea is not so much the trumpets, it's to make sure that when something happens in the world, we don't say, it's just things that happen. And in fact, specifically, there's an entire seif about rain. If you look in Shulchan Aruch, it goes on to explain all the different calamities, and it says, V'chein al hamotar. If there's rain, and there's too much rain, Ketzad, arei sherabo lehem kshamim asher yatzeiru lehem. If there's a lot of rain and it's paining the people, Harei elu mispadalim aleim. You have to daven. She'ein lecha tzara yeseiru mizu. You hear these words? There's no greater calamity. Shabatim noflim, that houses fall. V'nimtzu batem kivreim, and the houses become their burial site. Uve'eretz Yisrael en mispadalim. This is a big chiddush. In Eretz Yisrael, you don't daven if there's too much rain. Mipnei she'eretz harim. It's a land of mountains. Uvatem benuyim ba'avonim. Interesting, and all the houses are built with stone, not like in other countries. And therefore, and he says, historically, he's writing this, amazing. This Shulchan Aruch was written by the Rav Yosef Karo. He says, V'achshav b'tzfat, right now in Tzfat, mitzuyim apolet batim mipnei akshamim umispadalim aleim. So even the Rav Yosef Karo, after he said you don't usually daven for too much rain, but in Tzfat right now, there is whatever they had exactly. You could look it up in the 1500s, exactly the date. And there was, I don't know if there's a hurricane, but they were davening for it. So the main principle that we take from here, and I think it's something that we so forget, we're so busy, is that if we hear that there's a hurricane, it's not just for the people there. The people there have more of an obligation to pull out the shofar and not be so busy with all the videos and everything, which is maybe part of the Yisraelis, but the ikar is to pray, to daven, especially now that it's Yimei Elul. And this applies to every one of us. And we're starting Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem. The whole idea of Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem is that we're all together. And therefore there's a calamity in Israel, there's a calamity in Florida, there's a calamity in Houston. The first thing we do is we pull out the Tehillim and we daven.